to the words that are coming out of your mouth. And those of you who have kids, it's really fun to engage them in this. The littles, they're like, I need to pay attention to what you're saying and call you wrong for it. Yes. Or they get really excited, like, you said something awesome, right? It's such a great game. I have my people, I'm like, let me know when I say stuff. Ooh, not yet. Third and final lesson. Get responsible. Anybody just get some resistance? This one is usually pretty yucky for a lot of people, and I know Daniel started to bring it up earlier ago, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. He's going to teach my lesson for me. Responsibility is truly an opportunity, but most people want to turn away from it. Most people are just like, no, thank you. I don't even want to go there. But here's the thing, your reality is expressed to you, your self-image is expressed to you in a way that you can experience it. Your reality and your self-image is expressed to you in a way you can experience it. My self-image was being expressed to me in a lot of really interesting ways that I did experience, especially with my family. All the unworthiness was all up in my face, all the time. I was definitely the bitch of the family. Anybody else? Just me? It mostly showed up there with my dad. Where it was hardest for me was with him. So many stories of unworthiness. You know, he didn't show up, he didn't stick around, he didn't value what I had to say. Everything was, that's good, but. That's great, but. Awesome, but. Well, maybe next time try this. It was never good enough, right? We didn't really say I love you to each other. I haven't said it a handful of times over a number of years, and he never said it. And why should I say it? He never said it first. I didn't really hang out with the family. I would find ways to like, then I'd get mad. They'd go on family trips, and I'd be like, why was I invited? Wonder. But I realized that through a lot of education, our brain does not care about the way we rank trauma. I used to believe I don't belong on this stage because I don't have sexual assault, domestic violence, near death, all of the things that you could have had to have trauma to be wherever you are right now. That because I don't have all that, I don't belong here. It's actually why I want to be on the stage, because I believe there are a lot of people out there, as Daniel will say, that have a story that don't believe it deserves to be heard because you didn't deal with all the biggest things. Your brain doesn't care. It's still trauma to you. Your subconscious mind still chooses to make it mean whatever it chooses to make it mean, and that will wreak havoc over your life. So Robert Burton, novelist and neurologist, tells us this. This is very loosely quoted. The brain loves a good story, with obvious protagonists and antagonists, regardless of the accuracy of the story. We're often compelled to take incomplete stories or half stories and run with them. We don't care if it's like, oh, I may play a role in this, or, oh, this may be way off base. Even then, we still earn a dopamine reward because it helps us understand our world, even if that explanation is incomplete or flat out wrong. I was definitely creating a story that had an underlying theme of unworthiness around my father. And through a lot of coaching and a lot of work and a lot of journaling, I realized that me not telling my father I loved him was my way of pulling the strings. It was my kryptonite. It was my way I could have power over someone who I saw as a very powerful human. And when I realized it, at first it was like, ugh, awesome. But then it was like, wait, that means I can do something about this. I called him as soon as I had the aha. Mind you, I'm already crying, hot. I'm sitting in a car and I'm in a parking garage. Because I'm like, if I wait, I'm never going to do it. So I go ahead and I call him, and I'm like, I need you to just listen, don't say a word, or I will never get through this. And I started to just dump it all out. Tell him that I love him, and I want to be around him, and I'm so sorry that I haven't said I love you, and I'm just done. I'm done with the way things are going. And that conversation took about 5 minutes. And he told me, you know, I'm really proud of you for doing the work, and I really appreciate it. I didn't think you wanted me to say it anymore. I was like, ugh. Talk about creating your own reality, right? But again, that conversation took 5 minutes, and our relationship has never been the same. It's always going to be the way to set ourselves free, even when it's uncomfortable. Maybe Ted Lasso fans? The truth will set you free, but first, it'll piss you off. Because it won't always go easy. It won't always be a fairy tale ending in that conversation, but it will always be worth it. This is the reason why it will always be worth it. To try is to risk failure, but risk must be taken because the greatest hazard of life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, is nothing. We often see responsibility as a risk. Because it's scary, it's uncomfortable, we don't want to do it, but really, it's how you take your life back. Responsibility is not about what's right or wrong or good or bad. It's not about morality at all. It's about how do you step up, step in, and take back the reins to life. In my opinion, responsibility is a gift. It is a gift we get to give to ourselves to take life back. And it's who's willing to step up and do it. I want to thank you for being willing to stick around this entire day and go on this journey with me today. It's really fun watching the nods and the smiles and the aha moments. And I want to invite you to come over and say hi after we're done and let me know what you got from today. It's been a privilege to be able to be on the stage and share with you today. Because I can tell you, it hasn't always been easy, but it's been worth it. I don't cry a lot in the shower anymore. I work with my dad. My mom and my sister are here. I live with my sister. I have a career that actually truly lights me up, and the love of my life is actually in the back of the room supporting me. It's all within reach is something that I think you've heard all day today. It requires stepping up, it requires stepping in, it requires taking a chance, it requires doing things that are hard, Cynthia said. It requires doing all things, anything that you feel is yanking at you, or the thing that you're like, I don't want to do that. Do that. Do that. Because I want for all of you what I have as well. And I think you can have it. I believe you can have it. I know you can have it. And I heard Coach Lisa bring this up, and I'm going to reel it in with the full statement here, because fear and faith have one thing in common. They both believe in a future that hasn't happened yet. So which one are you going to choose to give power to? Thank you.
The world, so she's not even jet lagged or nothing. How's today been? Y'all learned something? You know, we're almost to the end of the day. Lunch will be served across the hallway here in the other room. So we're ready to go with that. I just want to share something with y'all before we end the day. You know, God is good, right? Who, by standing up, got more out of today than what you thought you were? Stand up, please, for real. Stand up and you got more today than what you thought you were. You know, the day started with, the day started with Judy talking about America. And I truly believe that there's an anointing here for $1 million nerve. Everybody say, I was born to make millions. I was born for more. You know, I grew up on the south side of San Antonio, and the word millionaire was never said in my house. The word millionaire was never said. If you go to the Dominion, if you go to Elm Creek, the subdivision, the conversations are different. Say, my conversations must change. I must change. You see, because when you go to the other sides of the city, other sides of the world, and you hang around with these people, they're no better than us, right? They just think differently. They think totally differently. And the only limitations are that we have in life are self-imposed. Say the only limitations I have are self-imposed. I want you to look eye to eye to the next person next to you right now. Buddy up real quick, seriously, buddy up. Buddy up. Look somebody in the eyes. Seriously, eye to eye. And tell that person today, I choose to remove the limitations of my life. Give yourself a round of applause. Have a seat. Right? Go and have a seat. So I want to drop this in your mind. I want you to write this down. Write this stuff down, right? I really want you to understand that there's a spirit of poverty over us sometimes. And see, when I grew up, I wasn't aware of this, right? Because I know what it's like to serve with water. I know what it's like when I say I can't afford this, I can't afford that. I know what it's like, right? We didn't have this word. We didn't have the word millionaire in my house. We had the word layaway.